What's going on? Welcome back to the Life Hack Podcast. My good friend Andy Reyes is here with us. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep. So it's interesting just because, right, everything you have going for yourself and the entrepreneur life. So just to kick things off with you, I guess what got you into fashion, you know?
Damn, bro, it's really a lot of things. I'm not gonna lie. I think it started like around. I'm gonna have to say it, probably like middle school, like transitioning to high school.
Yeah.
So, I was always like, trying to not wear the same thing that like everyone else was wearing. I think at the time it was like, what was it? It was probably like, like Vans, Converse, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I was just trying to be like, oh, if everybody got Vans on or Converse on, let me put on like something else, And eventually it's like, I think, what was I wearing at the time? Bro, I forgot, but I was just trying to like, bro, if no one has it, like I'm wearing it, you know what I'm saying? And so, that's how it really started. And then just after that, I think I have an older brother.
Yeah.
He's what, 6 years older than me.
Okay.
So yeah, he's always been like ahead, So it's
Gotcha.
like whatever he was on, I was on. Whatever his friends were on, I was on. So it was just like that. So it was like I was like 13. My brother was probably like, he's 6 years older than me. He's what, 19?
19, yeah.
Yeah, 19. So he was like, I was already in like his like group friend, and
So
stuff
you were
like
hanging
that.
out with them
Yeah,
at that time
yeah,
already?
at that
Okay.
time. So it was just kind of just like I was just what they were on,
So they were into fashion as well? Your
Yeah,
brother's
yeah,
into fashion?
they were into fashion. My brother was into like at the time he was barely getting into like Forever 21 was barely popping off. What else? Like Cotton On,
Okay.
H&M, like that type of around that time it was popping off. So I was already like shopping there,
Gotcha.
And then from there is I started just buying just like cardigans, jackets, puffers and stuff like that.
So was he
Yeah.
like that too, though? Like
He
the way
wasn't.
that you
He
think
wasn't actually.
that he's trying to be different? Like,
No,
you're not
no,
wearing
no,
the
no,
same?
no,
So
no.
that was just you?
That was just like probably me looking up to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What would you say is your first entrepreneurial like experience? For you, like you to be able to do something for yourself,
Yeah.
to actually put out for the people. When would you say you actually got to put your hands on that at first?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little taste of it. So when I was young, my dad, like he always like around the neighborhood he would cut grass.
Okay.
And he kind of he would just be like, come with me, And so I would pull up with him and stuff. But eventually, over time, he gave me my own yard.
Okay.
In the street, So let's say he had like 15 houses that he had to cut around the whole neighborhood. And then in my street, there's like 2-3 houses. And he's like, these are the houses you're going to take care of. I was probably like 10, 11. But, I was already like, it was like on a tractor. So it's like, bro, you don't do much. It's like you just sit down and you just like, just manage it and stuff. But yeah, I was taking care of those 3 houses. And I think at the time I was charging like 25. Like I put up my own prices and everything, So I was charging 25 for each house. It was 3-4 houses. So I was making like 100 every 2 weeks. So a month I was walking out with $200 a month. Bro, as a like 12, 11-year-old kid, $200 a month is, bro.
That's some money, yeah.
Bro, that's
You're
money,
balling.
bro. And if you know how to manage it and save it the right way, bro, it's like you save those 200, probably spend like 50, you got 150 left, and then next 2 weeks come around and you collect another 100. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
you're like up 300 at 11, and it's like, damn, like this how you can make money. So yeah, that's how I started off, with just cutting yards around the neighborhood. And then I was like, there's different ways to make money. I remember I was in probably high school, if I'm not wrong. I would see kids like sell like tacos or what was it, like snacks, chocolates or whatever, And at the time I was in the soccer team too, so it was like they would give you them little fundraiser chocolates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going by them boxes, like I would move them like in like a week or like a few days, like them chocolates were
Why do you
gone.
think you're moving fast though? You think you have a good like natural
Because we
selling
had
ability?
to. No, we just had to. Like, we had to sell them, And I was like, I'm going to move them quick because I just want to get rid of them.
Were you
like,
comfortable with that though? Like going up to people and like, hey, like, we're
Bro,
doing
yeah,
this and
yeah,
that.
I was
Like, were you
comfortable.
outgoing with it? Because I know a big part of sales, people get scared because you have to be outgoing.
Yeah.
You have to like go up to people and tell them, hey, this is the product. We're selling it for X and Y reason. And so, were you ever nervous at any point, or you're
Bro,
you're
I
outgoing?
mean, it's just school, So it's
Yeah.
like everyone. My school was like super small, so it's like I remember I would take it to school. You know, it was probably like 60 chocolates in there. One day I would move like 10, 15. Then after school, you know, let's say I would go to church, then I would move another 10. So like by like in like 3-4 days, I had moved the whole box. So I was like, this is easy, you know. I got rid of my box, and I'm like, there's other kids still trying to sell their chocolates.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can probably go on and sell my own product, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I remember I had asked my mom at the time if she can, because she's my mom has always been like she bakes, she loves to bake. So it's like I had asked her if she can bake me some Rice Krispies. I remember this like this was yesterday. I was like, yo, can you bake me some Rice Krispies? So she baked me like a pan, you know?
Yeah.
It was probably like 15 pieces when you cut it up, or like 20. And I would take them to school in a lunch bag, and I would sell them for $2 a pop. Bro, I was moving those Rice Krispies like crazy. And so, you know, once I was done with my chocolates, I was like, people already knew like I was selling stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like once I didn't have chocolates no more, but I mean, you're already coming for me for chocolates, but I got Rice Krispies, you know?
So you already had a plan with it.
Yeah, I already had a plan with it. It's like, I don't got chocolates no more, but I got Rice Krispies. So I was moving those Rice Krispies for like $2 or $1.50. People were buying them. And I think over time, that's how it kind of just started. I was like I can make my own money, you know? I don't need to work for someone. Yeah, and so that's what I kind of got a little taste of it.
No, for sure. I think that's the hard part, right? Whenever you do start selling stuff like that and you do start making money, it's hard to go back. Like you can't go back, right? Like you have to keep building off the momentum, always generating ideas. What was your next jump though? Like as far as, you know, now you have your brand Lonestar, but like how did that start to escalate? Because, you know, you start cutting yards, you go into the Rice Krispie selling. Like when did it start to actually like get deeper into the fashion industry where you're like, oh, I'm gonna start designing my own clothes?
Yeah, so I think it was probably like my senior year of high school, going into like my freshman year, that transition.
Yeah.
I was already like, you know, like deeply into fashion and stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm pretty sure there's different ways to make money out of this, you know. And when did it start? I think I had seen, bro, since I was into buying clothes all the time, I would be like into like Depop. Like if you know about Depop?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Depop, Grailed, Mercari, all these apps. And it happened one time, you know, I'm already buying clothes. I bought some NMDs at the time.
Okay.
You know, the Ultra Boost NMDs, like 2016, 2017, I think they were popping. So I had bought some NMDs. They came in, I opened up the box. You know, I'm hyped. Like, bro, I just got some NMDs. Like, Kanye just wore them last week, you know?
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, so I bought the NMDs, opened up the box, bro. They turned out to be fake. And I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
That's
I just
tough.
got played. You know, I just got
tough.
played. So it's like, what do I do? You know, do I like return them? Like the guy wasn't answering no more. So it's like I just got played. I mean, I did, bro. Yeah, he finessed me. So I didn't pay that much, honestly. I probably paid like $150.
Okay.
I should have known. NMDs were going for like $3 at the time.
Yeah, it was too good to be true.
It's too good to be true. But I'm like, you know, I just wanted them. So I was like, bro, I'm not gonna wear these. You know, like just like this little thing behind my head is like, oh, people are gonna know they're fake. You know, even if I like wear them and stuff. But bro, I think it started. I had posted them back on Mercari.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I'm going to just sell them, but for more, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see who bites. Bro, the next day, someone bought them. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even mention they're fake. I started feeling guilty, right? I was like, I didn't even mention they're fake or anything like that. But, I mean, you bought them. I was probably like 17, 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bought them, shipped them out. Bro, didn't hear nothing about it. I was like, damn, like.
You got away with it.
Yeah, I got away with it, you know? And so I think it started off, I was like, bro, if I just did this, like what else moves that's like counterfeit or fake, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, at the time, I'm like, again, I was like 17, 18, probably 17, 16,
Yeah.
So it's like I was just trying to find ways to find money.
Yeah.
And I found out about like, you know, there's like fake like websites, not fake websites, but websites where you can buy fake like stuff, like Supreme, Babe, and stuff like that. And I remember I had bought a fake Bape shirt.
Yeah.
I had about 5 of them. I was like, I'm going to test waters. Bro, they were $6 at the time. So I was like, 6 times 5, like 30?
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just drop 30. The shipping was probably like 20. So I dropped 50 on 5-6 shirts. And I was like, let me post them on Mercari again, you know, see if someone bites again.
Yeah.
Bro, the moment I posted all 6 of them, I probably like in less than a week, they started moving. And I'm like, what? Like, this is the thing. Reviews were good. 5-star reviews, fast shipper, like a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm like, damn, like, this works, right?
That's wild.
Yeah, this works. And I was like, I just spent 30. I sold each shirt like around 60, 70, because at the time they were reselling for like
Bro was making like
180.
60-70% return.
Yes, bro. I was like, bro, I was balling. So I was like, but it was off of fake stuff,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, as a 16-year-old, you're like, you don't care.
Yeah.
You're just trying to have bread, you know. And so yeah, I had moved those shirts, and then it just kept going. I was like, all right, I just moved that. Let me buy some Babe hoodies now. Hoodies go for more. They're like $3, but they did cost a little more. They were like $30 each.
Yeah.
But they were all fake, you know. Then I was like, let me buy Supreme slides, Supreme headband, Supreme patches, Supreme, like everything,
Going
you know,
all
bro.
out.
Going all out, bro. I remember I did my big, like I was already racking up bread off of that,
Yeah.
you know. And I remember I did a big purchase. I was like, bro, this is working out. I can like invest. That's
Yeah.
when I learned like about like investing and
Yeah,
you know,
throwing your
on
money.
yourself. Yeah. I remember I dropped 1,000. No, it was like 800 to close to $1,000. It was like $800, $700 on just hoodies. I probably cashed out on like 30, like 40 hoodies, you know. And I think I was already in college. It was like my first year in college. I was
Yeah.
already like in a dorm room. Yeah, I think I was like 18. I had moved out of my house and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, I didn't have a job or anything. So I was like, let me just invest on myself. And then so I bought those fake Babe hoodies. They all came in, bro. And it's like, I remember I had them in my dorm room in the closet, and I posted them up on the site too. I was selling on Depop and Mercari at the time, bro. And I think I sold like half of them in under like a week and a half or two.
Damn.
Yeah, and I made my money back in like 4 or 5 hoodies. And I still had so many left, you know?
Yeah, everything was profit at that point.
Bro, and it was direct deposit. It was like, bro, I was good, you know? And so
Yeah.
I was like, damn, like, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, that was that. I ended up selling all of them in probably like in a month. And, you know, I remember coming back home from college, and my brother was in the living room. He was watching like a documentary on Netflix. It's called Counterfeit Goods. And, you know, I was just walking by, and I was like, you know, I saw the documentary, and I kind of heard a little snippet about it when I was walking by, and I kind of just stayed, and I was watching it, and it was about people going to jail for it and selling counterfeit goods. You know how like when you go to New York or like,
Yeah.
you know, like you see those people on
For
the side
sure.
of the streets.
Yeah, the ones on the side selling all fake Gucci bags.
But it
all
was
that.
about them, you know, and stuff like that. Like, you know, they get this amount of years in jail, this and that. Bro, and I started getting a little paranoid. I was like, bro, I'm over here doing it. Like just last week, I just sold a hoodie, this and that. And it kind of just hit, and I was just like, nah, I can't be doing this for like forever, you know. I probably did it for like not even probably a full year. Yeah, and so I was like, nah, like I can't. You know, it was fun while it lasted, you know. But I gotta start making like, you know, like I gotta start making money different ways. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it started from that really. Yeah, that's really like
where you understood the whole process.
where I understood the whole process of like making profit, you know, buying inventory. I mean, I didn't take any promotion or like marketing for it to sell, because I mean, it's already a big brand, you know. Yeah.
That makes sense. And then, so after that, do you start getting into the idea of like, what can I do, you know, like my own product?
Yeah. So no, not really actually. I was also in college, you know, bro. When you're in college, you just ideas start popping up in your head.
You're in that dorm room just on your own.
Bro, you're in that dorm room on your own on a Tuesday night, and it's like, what can I do? You know,
staying up late.
And so I started off designing, like graphic designing, before I even thought about selling my own clothes.
Did anyone teach you that, or was it like you were taking a class for it?
Self-taught.
You were on
just YouTube.
YouTubing it?
Bro,
Yeah.
YouTube, and like I would watch like you can just search up how to design a rap team. And I remember I would open up the Photoshop file, and whatever that guy was doing, like if he was getting a picture off of Google, I would try to find the same exact picture he was using on Google, you know? And so I remember I was just, you know, just step by step, I would pause the video. It was probably like a 5-6 minute video, but for me, like the way I would pause it and stuff, it would take me like an hour or two until I got it down. And then, you know, I would, whenever he was done, I was done with the same product he had. I didn't have no idea what I was doing, but like throughout the process, I was learning. Then it's like, all right, let me just put in my own pictures, you know, and that's how I kind of started. So yeah, I started off designing first, but it all started, I think it was a friend of mine. I remember this like it was yesterday. He needed a flyer for a party.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he needed a flyer for a party, and he had asked, I think he was asking around, or he had asked me if I know anyone that can make a flyer. And at the time, I did have a friend that made flyers. Like I went to high school with him. His name is Zach. It's probably the only guy I talked to from high school. Yeah, really the only guy. So at the time, I remember him. He was just starting on flyers.
Okay.
And he would post on Instagram all the time. He would post like, I just designed this flyer. I just did this. But he was just starting. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna send him work.
Yeah.
Like this, my friend from college, like I think I'm in Dallas at the time. He's like, he needs a flyer. Let me just send him his way. But then I thought about it. I was like, bro, I could probably give it a shot and try doing this flyer for him, right? I ain't even tell him I did it or anything. I think I hopped on Canvas.
Yeah, I think it's Canva.
Yeah,
Canva.
It's not even Photoshop. It's like I had no idea what Photoshop was. So I hopped on Canvas and I started doing this flyer. I got like his picture off of Instagram, his birthday party flyer. So I got his picture off of Instagram. I like cropped it and all that, bro. It was I have to go back and like look for the flyer.
Yeah.
But bro, it probably wasn't even like that good and all. But yeah, I did that little flyer and stuff, turned it in, bro. He liked it, and then from that, like a week later, he's like, "Yo, I need another flyer." So I hopped on Canva again, and then from there, it was just word of mouth. Yo, he makes flyers. He's making flyers, but I'm like, I'm not even taking it seriously. I just did it for a friend,
Were you having fun with it though?
At the time I was having fun with it because it was like, damn, like it's kind of cool. Like people like the flyers I'm doing, and it's straight off of my iPhone, But then it got to the point where it's like I can't be doing 3-4 flyers that people are requesting in just the phone. Like, bro, it takes a minute. It's not like Photoshop where you just hop on
Exactly.
and you start cooking,
Exactly.
It's like on the iPhone, it's like you gotta like it's a little longer,
Yeah.
And I was barely getting the hang of it too. But yeah, so that's how I really started. I got into graphic design off of just doing iPhone flyers for friends. Then I was like, I kind of want to start taking it serious. So I remember I had a MacBook 2015 at the time. This was probably like 2018. Yeah, 2018.
Okay.
2019. I had a MacBook at the time, 2015. But I was like, I don't know why. Something in my head was telling me like, if I want to start graphic designing, I need the new MacBook,
Yeah, for sure.
I was just like, I need that new MacBook. And so I remember I sold my MacBook for $500. I bought myself a 2019 MacBook or 2018 MacBook. And then I didn't even know where to start designing. I was like, all right, now I have the MacBook. I just went full, I was like,
jump full ship.
Bro, yes. I just jumped in and I didn't even know where to design now. And so I remember just hopping on YouTube, like, where do people design? It was like all these apps. It was like Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, Adobe, this and that, And I remember, I think I just figured out it was Photoshop. And I was like, yes, I just saw the little app. It was like PS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started on Photoshop.
Yeah. I started on Photoshop on my iPhone. And then it all came out perfect. It was like 2019. You know how COVID started like around 2020, like early?
Yeah.
It was like February, March. So I had time. I already had my MacBook like in November, December prior with the Photoshop because you got to pay for Photoshop. So I had everything. I just never started. So it was like 2-3 months. I had the new MacBook with Photoshop. Wasn't doing anything with it.
Not being used?
Yeah, not being used. It was just sitting there. And COVID happened. I'm back home. I have all this time in the world. And it's like, it's still in the back of my head. I want to figure this Photoshop thing out, And I think at the time when I was already back home for like the holidays, I would have this job. I used to work at this restaurant. I don't know if you heard of it, Iguana Joe's. Yeah, it's like right there on the east side. So I was working there, and I remember I got laid off and all that stuff because of COVID. Because of COVID, yeah. So bro, I had all the time in the world. So I was like, I have no excuse, I have no excuse. I hopped on Photoshop. I remember I went to Starbucks that night. One night I went to Starbucks, and because I was like, if I'm at home, I have all these distractions, like TV. Then I got my car there. I can just go wherever. Then I got the fridge there. I can open it up, eat something. But if I'm at Starbucks, just sitting down, it's like I'm like forced to like,
You're locked in.
Yeah, I'm forced to get locked in. And so yeah, went to Starbucks, pulled up I didn't even know how to pull up an image inside of Photoshop. It took me a while. I was probably in Starbucks for like 30-40 minutes trying to figure that out until I figured it out. And I kind of just messed around with it. Same thing. Hopped on YouTube, was copying whatever the video was doing. I would just copy a bit in my images, and that's how I started. And then boom, went back home, and I just kept repetition. Just trying to figure it out.
It gets addicting once you figure out.
Yeah.
Like you can. I don't think people understand the power of YouTube because I've learned so many different things from YouTube. Like what, just like you're saying, step by step. That's the best way to learn it, because if you break down the video and you repeat it over and over and over, it becomes super easy. And then whenever people ask you, they're like, "What? Like, how'd you learn, bro? Like, you learn so fast." And it's not even, there's no like secret formula to it. It's just watch the video, do the repetition behind it, and you're gonna learn it.
Bro, yeah.
But it gets addicting once you do figure it out, because you're like, damn, I'm actually pretty good at this. And then, like going to that, right? After you started to figure it out, is that whenever you started to like figure out a way to jump off with it,
Yeah, so I'm figuring out this Photoshop stuff, and at the time it was I'm pretty sure you know about Bounce Back, the vintage shop. Yeah. So I think they just had moved locations or something like that, and I've always been into like vintage, just clothes in general, shoes, and they had all of that. They had vintage, they had clothes, they had shoes, and so. I was always like, I followed them on Instagram. I would see what they were doing, stuff like that. And then they were just friends too at the time, like the owners, Rob and Leo. I would play soccer with them every now and then, so they were friends. I remember one time, I was like, I need to figure. Like, I had no idea what to do on Photoshop. Like, I was just learning it, but I was like, I need to do something in order to like get that practice. So I remember COVID just happened, like I told you.
Yeah.
And I did like a sale. They were having a sale. Like they had posted a sale on Instagram, on a post or story.
Okay.
But it was like, them stories whenever you just take a picture of something and you just put words.
Like to promote it, basically?
Yeah,
like
to promote a sale.
Okay,
like it wasn't a flyer.
Yeah, I get you.
It was just like if I was to go to my phone, take a picture of this and just write down.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yo, vintage 10% off.
Got it.
And I just write it in words with what Instagram gives me. And without them telling me anything, bro, I just hopped on Photoshop and I was like, let me see if I can do something for them. They had no idea, I'm just at home, bored. I was like, so I hopped on a Photoshop, put up an image, and kind of just like tweaked it around, added my own fonts, and like added their sale that they were having.
Yeah.
And I sent it over to them. And they're like, oh, snap, like, this is hard. Like, bro, they went crazy, And I'm like, I just started in Photoshop, and I'm like, damn, bro, like, they like people like it, and it's like this is not the first thing I've ever done. So from there, that's how it all started. Like I sent them that, they liked it. A week later, they're like, "Yo, we're having this other thing. Can you make another flyer?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, for sure, I got you." Boom, 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 and cook it up, send it. Yo, this is crazy, this is hard, and I'm over here like, damn, like this is sick,
Yeah.
And then they would post it. I think at the time they would tag me. Yeah, they would tag me, and so. They had like a pretty good following. I'm not gonna lie. I think they had like around close to like 10,000 followers or 6,000 followers, and they would post a flyer. They would tag me. They'll be like flyer, whatever, and people would hit me up through their page. They'll be like, "Yo, I see you do flyers. You think you could do this, and that?" And that's how it really started off. And eventually I was like, I did start working with a few people like that. I had no idea who they were, but they would hit me up. But then it got a little too hectic, It's like everybody was kind of just
couldn't
like,
keep up with it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I just started. I had no idea what I'm doing, I'm just trying to. I just did a free flyer for Bounce Back,
Yeah.
Then they asked for a shirt, and then that's where I kind of got into like the clothing, like designing clothes,
So they asked if you could design a shirt for them.
Yeah, it was what was it? I think it was they had broken into the shop or something. And they're like, "Yo, we want to make merch out of it or whatever," It was like a picture, to promote it or whatever. And at the time, it was like it was just kind of like it was just funny, I think they dropped it, but then it was like, "Yo, we want to make another shirt," but it was a Houston Rockets one, and that's when I started designing like my first rap tee. So it was like I remember, I think we got together and we kind of just. They probably thought I was like I knew what I was doing, but
you've been doing it for years.
Yeah, but it's like I'm like 2 weeks to like a month new to this,
I'm surprised too, because I figured like you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean I've been probably that was 2020. It's probably been like 3.5 years.
Yeah, but even then that's still like
we just practice, bro. Yeah. So yeah, they asked me for the Rocket shirt. I did that Rocket shirt, bro. That's to this day I'm like, damn, I can't believe I did that. With the experience I had at the time. Bro, it was sick. I don't know if you've seen it. It's just like a rap tee. It just has like the Rockets, like the 90s, 95.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And it has like a world in the back. It's inspired by a vintage tee. But yeah, I did that. people liked it. People were buying it. You know, I got paid for the design. So I'm like, oh, there's money into this, you know? So I was like, they're like, how much you want? I was like, bro, I didn't even know my price rates. Like, I didn't even know what to charge. I think at the time I was just taking in store credit. Because, bro, I was like, I probably was going to spend that money on their vintage, you know? So I was like, oh, just give me store credit, you know? And I would just go to their store and just cash out, like, get some little, like, shirts. Probably save up the credit and get a shoe or something like that, you know?
Okay.
So that was my way of kind of just, like, hey, I design for you, and then in exchange, like, I get close.
For
you know?
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it was. So I started seeing that there's money into this, you know? And, yeah, just people started hitting me up. They kept tagging me on everything that I was doing. And, you know, I just started probably charging. At the time, I was probably charging like 20, 30 a flyer or something like
bro,
that.
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, bro, it was pretty cheap. But it's like,
cheap.
If I was doing like 5 flyers in a week, it's like,
It adds up.
It adds up, you know?
For sure.
But now that I think about it, it's like, damn, who's making $20 flyers nowadays? Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, it helped you get your foot in the door.
Yeah, it did. It did. Mainly because I wanted that repetition, like I said.
Yeah, definitely. I think the bigger thing for me is just how you got your foot in the door. Like they never asked for it.
Bro,
you just did it, and
Yeah.
I think that's what people have to understand that if you don't take initiative, you're never gonna get the outcome that you want. Because nowadays I feel like people wait for stuff to happen like magically. They want stuff to just happen, and if it doesn't happen, they're like, oh well, like said and done. Like we'll move forward. But like the way that I think, it's like take that initiative, even if it doesn't go your way, at least you know that you tried it.
Yeah.
And like you have to take a lot of L's before you actually, before you actually get any bit of success. With the I guess with the most recent news that I saw, you went out to Vegas.
Yeah.
How was that experience? You
bro,
went out and you gave Teofimo, right?
Teofimo.
Yeah.
Teofimo.
How did that happen?
Well, that was kind of crazy. This was when? This was like in February, January? I'm not too sure. It was this year, though. Damn, I'm not even done with the story, though. With the...
Oh, let's get to it. Let's go back to it.
Because then we're going to be jumping around.
Yeah.
It's like... I'm here because I'm like... My train of thought is like... I'm still over here,
Let's go back to it.
So it's like... Yeah, where was I?
You said that you were designing for Bounce Back. You were doing it for store credit, and then after that, people started hitting you up.
And after that, people started hitting me up. So I started from flyers. They kind of turned into like graphic like shirts, like designing shirts and stuff. And I remember just people were hitting me up for shirts and stuff. And so I was like, and I would see that the designs that I was doing on the shirts, they were moving for these people. What
was the difference between a shirt and a flyer?
A flyer is just like, how do you say it? Like it's kind of easy. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the dates. It's like informative.
Yeah.
A shirt is like it's kind of a little harder because like you got to get the vision of, what they want. So it's like, oh, you want this in the front, you want this in the back, and they're like, oh no, I want to change this, or I want to change that. So it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
And also it's like it's something you have to charge more because like they're gonna make profit out of it. So, it depends who too. At the time, like I said, I wasn't charging enough. But yeah, I started designing these shirts, and I started seeing that they were moving. I started designing for like small brands at the time, and I was like, damn, it's kind of crazy, like these shirts are moving and stuff. And I think that's kind of where it all started, where it kind of clicked. I was like, I could probably sell my own designs,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it really started. That was a question, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. My curiosity was just how you got your foot in the door, right? Because for me, it seems like you've been doing it for a long time, and I guess, like you said, right, repetition is what makes perfect, and that's what it seems like. Because I've seen your flyers, I've seen the designs that you've created. How'd you end up, coming up with the brand like Lonestar? How did that come about?
Yeah, so I already had a brand prior to that with one of my best friends. His name is Daniel. So that brand was called Collective Culture.
Okay.
So yeah, that just started off as, I think we're at his house one day, and we're just like, hey, we should start something, So it was kind of just like an idea that we both had. Okay. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm down, this and that, And so that's how it kind of just started. I already had it in my mind, I want to start something, but I just never took initiative,
Yeah.
I was always like comfortable with like, I'll just stay designing for like these other people, and I just get paid like that, But yeah, at the time, it started an idea with both of us, and we kind of just started that brand. You know, it took off and all. But I mean, we're still really good friends. But I mean, eventually over time, it's like, you know, I started Lonestar.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, so that started. This was like in 2022, if I'm not wrong, like September. So I started. I think I didn't even know how I came up with the name. Actually, I think I was just hopped on, like, you know, when you go to Instagram and you click on your Explorer page. Yeah, and you just see, like, my Explorer page is full of like vintage shoes, like graphic design, like logos, a whole bunch of stuff. And I think one time I just clicked on my Explorer page and I seen like someone did a logo, and it said Lonestar. But the way they designed that logo, it was crazy. It was like, it was blue. It had like little stars going around it. I don't know why it caught my attention, you know?
Yeah.
Like I clicked on it and I was like, oh, this is sick. You know, it looks cool. And just like the wordplay, and I was like, oh, this is sick. You know? Yeah, I searched it up. I hopped in Instagram and I searched it up. I searched up Lonestar. I was like, oh, no one has, like, there's no brand, you know, called Lonestar or anything like that. It's like, oh, this is perfect. Hopped on Twitter, nothing. And then hopped on TikTok, nothing. And then I remember I hopped on, I was already thinking ahead, you know, I hopped on, like, patents, like, designs or whatever, like, if you have trademarks or anything.
Yeah.
There wasn't any clothing brands there. So I was like, oh, this is perfect.
That's
you know,
it.
I could get my foot in there, you know, with that name. And that's how it really started. Yeah, that's kind of how I started that brand, just off of like hopping my Explorer page, seeing that, and I was like, oh damn.
How difficult is it to keep up with all of it though? Like drop after drop after drop.
Damn, bro, it's pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. It looks easy from the outside. It's like, oh, you just
new drop,
post it, you know, and then it's like you move on to the next. But it's like, bro, there's so much that goes behind it that it's like, you kind of gotta come up with. The hardest part for me is coming up with the idea, the whole concept behind it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want to drop a shirt, but it's like what you want to put on it, you know, and you want to execute it the right way. So it's like, that's the hardest part for me. Once I know what I want to put on the shirt, it's like, it's easy. It's like putting it together, you know, designing it. It all comes into place. Just
what inspires what you put on the shirt?
Bro, honestly, I get a lot of my inspiration off of just like day to day. Like, you know, just I go to the grocery store and I like look to my right and I see like a cool like figure or a cool design, you know, or I'm driving around and I look to my right and I just see something cool and I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, what if I add like this color? Like, I see like a red and a yellow and I'm like, oh, that's a cool color combo. But a lot of it comes from vintage shirts. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I've been into vintage for like for the longest. It's like I love it, you know. It's like right now I'm wearing a vintage tee. I was debating, should I wear a Lonestar shirt or should I wear a vintage tee? But I was like, let me stick to a little vintage tee for the meantime. But yeah, vintage shirts are a big inspiration for me. There's a lot of shirts that, you know, all these designs come from like the 90s, 80s, 70s. And it's like, you think to yourself, it's like, damn, like, who thought about this, you know? Yeah, so my inspo comes from that. Like, I think one of the last shirts that I'm dropping, or the one I'm about to drop, it's like a restock, but with the short sleeve. I don't know if you've seen, I did like a long sleeve one.
Which one was it?
It was the Third Coast.
Is it the one that had like the cross coming down?
Yeah. And the back, that's like inspired by vintage tee.
That's sick.
I did also did like a Jesus drop where it said I love Jesus.
Oh, the one that had all the lightning bolts?
The other one had the lightning bolts, bro, inspired by vintage tee, you know, but I just do my own twist.
Gotcha.
So the lightning bolt one, actually, that's a shirt I've always wanted to own. And I don't think till this day I never got my hands on it, but I have a few friends that do, you know. And I was like, I saw it again, and I was like, oh damn, that's a sick shirt. But what if I just switch the wordplay into like a different language, you know? And it kind of just switch the design, tweak it, you know. And so the way the vintage shirt is like, it's all the purple lightning, but it's not like all over print, you know. And the wordplay is in English, so I think it says. Bro, I'm not too sure. I forgot, but it says like, it's God is great or something like that in the front, and then in the back is like glory and honor to His name or something like that. And then I was like, I'm gonna switch it to Portuguese, you know. And so I put I don't know how to say it in Portuguese.
It's in Portuguese.
Yeah, but it says Dios es amor, and then it's like honra y gloria a su nombre, but it's in Portuguese.
Why'd you choose Portuguese out of that?
Because I wanted to, you know, just make my own version of it, but at the same time, I wanted like a reason for like people to like, let's say you're wearing it. I actually brought you one.
Oh,
yeah, I brought you one. I was like, what size are you?
I'm a medium or a large.
I brought a medium and a large.
Damn,
I was like, bro, I know he's not an XL or small.
Yeah.
Let me bring him a medium or a large.
That's love.
But yeah, so I was like, the whole point behind that one was, so it's like we don't speak Portuguese over here. You know, it's kind of easy to tell. Like, you know, you can kind of read it if you know Spanish.
Yeah.
So you kind of, like, in a way, say, like, see what it says. But I was like, if you wear it around, let's say you wear it around, people are gonna be like, yo, what does that mean?
It catches attention.
Catches attention. He's like, you know, I don't understand it. They ask you about it, and it's like that's kind of how I want it. How I went with it is like I want people to, like, if you're wearing it out, they're gonna ask like, yo, what does that mean?
That's impressive, bro, because that's like a marketing strategy.
Yeah,
right?
it's like you kind of like just ask, you kind of just tell them, oh, it says this and that, and you know, and it kind of just, that was my whole concept behind it. Yeah,
that's badass, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, that's impressive in its own, but I also think the way that you manage your marketing, it's impressive too, because you do like the short films, you know how to advertise it. I've seen ads on it, like it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I think that's impressive in its own because people don't understand the importance to making sure that you execute your entire plan, because you could have a really nice shirt, and I've seen it a lot of times where people have a lot of nice designs, a lot of nice clothing. They just don't execute the marketing side of it, and then it fails. You know, they don't sell it, or it doesn't sell that much. But where do you learn from as far as like how you're gonna market it, or are these just things that you come up with on your own?
Bro, honestly, it's it's things that I be coming up on my own, or just like, you know, you just be online and you're like, oh, that looks cool, you know. It's like, and you just start thinking. It's like your brain starts just like going different places. Yeah. It's like, oh, like I could do this, I could do that. If I have this shirt, like I think the one I had told you about, the one that has a sleeve hit. Yeah. That one, we went to New York for it. Okay. So that was a cool experience. Yeah, it was me, my friend Eric, and like a few other friends. We had gone to New York. What did we go to New York for? We went to New York for, I forgot we went to New York, but I was like, oh, we're already going. I might as well just take advantage and have the shoot out there. It would be pretty cool, you know. But yeah, when it comes out to marketing, you know, I always want to do the whole like the rollout, because I feel like it's like you kind of, every piece I drop, it's like it has a story behind it, you know. It's not like you said, you see shirts that are nice, but it's like they just get dropped. I mean, people still buy them like that, but I like to have like the whole story behind it, you know, where it's like I drop a shirt and it's like you also got to think about like, yo, where's gonna be where's the shoot gonna be at, you know?
So do you come up with the campaign before you even think of the design? Like, like this is how I want to market it, this is how I want to execute it, or do you go by like day by day, where it's just like, oh, you know what, it would be a good idea to go take a shoot there.
Yeah, it's mostly like day by day.
Okay.
But yeah, bro, I usually take care of like everything, like the customer service, the designing, the marketing. It's like right now I'm just like a one-man team, so it's a little bit harder, but it's cool, you know. It's like I enjoy it. I do have a lot of friends that help me out with it though. Every time I design a shirt, I send it over. I always send over the shirts to my friends. They're the ones that look at it first, and they kind of give me that feedback, you know. So like right now, a friend of mine, he's been helping me. Do you know Eric? Laugh my ass off. Yeah. So he's been helping me a lot. He's, you know, I send it to Joseph sometimes, or like, you know, just close friends, and they're like, yo, this is sick. Or they can be like, yo, this is cool, but you should probably change this, change that. And it's like, you know, I kind of take criticism from people that I know would like that stuff and would wear it. And then it's like, rather than just like, you know, just being like self-centered, like, yo, this is cool. Like, I know it's cool. I don't care if they like it.
Yeah, you need that constructive criticism to be able to make it come to life.
Yeah, and so I send it to my brother and my sister, people that are probably like not into that stuff. Yeah. You know? But I know when I drop it, there's gonna be people that buy it that aren't into that, but they're like, you need to like it, you know? And so yeah, I always send it to all my friends, my brother, my sister, like I said, and I always get that criticism from them. If they like it, if they don't. But yeah, when it comes out to marketing, I feel like that's my favorite part of it. Like kind of just making a video of it, or it's like, who's gonna model it? How are they gonna model it? What are they gonna wear? Bro, there's a lot to it, honestly, but it all, over time, it kind of just comes together, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. What's one of your favorite ones? Like one of your favorite drops? Just the whole like rollout of it.
Damn, my favorite drop, I'm gonna have to say, bro, I don't even know, bro. I really like all of them, but I'm gonna have to say that long sleeve one. Yeah? Yeah. No. So I have these essential tees that I drop. They just say Lonestar International.
And like
those
XXL.
are like XXL. That's like the essential tee. I price it at $25. It's like anybody can get it. It's nothing crazy. It's not exclusive. They're always available. Like that's that one tee,
Yeah.
And I do different colors, and people ask about it. It's like every time they sell out, they're like, yo, I wasn't able to get it. You think you're gonna drop it again? It's like, fortunately I'm not gonna drop it again, but I'm gonna drop a different color.
Yeah.
I probably would eventually, but at the moment probably not. But yeah, I feel like one of my favorite ones was when I think I had gone to the beach. But this one was for the Lonestar International, the hoodie, and it was an army bag. It was like a military bag.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen it.
I saw that. Yeah.
Bro, yeah, that military bag is crazy. Like I'm into like the military like wear, the gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, if I use a vintage military bag and I print that, I feel like that would look pretty sick, And I did it. First I did it. Started off as a 101. My friend Eric, he wanted one. He was like, hey, yo, I got a bag. Can you print on it? And I was like, yeah, sure. I printed it for him. I was like, yo, this actually looks sick. What if I drop it, So I printed another one for me. I was wearing it around for like a month. And I was like, because those bags are 1-of-1s. They're actual military bags.
Okay.
Yeah, so you either got to like, if you know someone that has a rag house, you kind of source it from them, or you go to hop on eBay and they sell them there. So it was like something different, new, So I was like, oh, yeah, let me just get a whole bunch of military bags and print on them and just sell them. But they're all 1-of-1s. They even have like their names. They're like with
That's
Sharpie.
Sick.
Yeah,
that's sick, bro.
Pretty sick. So that rollout was pretty cool because we had gone to the beach. We took some pictures with like, Sylvan Beach. It's like by LaPorte.
I don't know of it.
No, yeah, it's by LaPorte, like close to Pasadena. We went to that beach. There's like we had waited for sunset, so we're like, hey, let's get there like around 5:30, because at the time it was getting dark quick. Let's get there like around 5:30. So by like around 5:50ish, we get the perfect shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just waiting. The moment the sun kind of just went down over like like the water, and it kind of just goes down and it's orange. Bro, we got into it. We started taking pictures. It was Luis, my photographer. He was like, all right, we kind of already had an idea what we wanted. So like the moment the sun goes down, you stay there, you stand there. It's like, boom, the sun went down. We started flaking. Bro, the pictures came out nice. So I thought that was pretty cool, the beach one. Yeah.
And I see a lot of influencers like wear your stuff.
Yeah.
I think I saw recently, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's I think he's Danny Luke's brother, right?
I think that's his cousin.
He was wearing, I think it's Eddie. His name's Eddie.
Yeah,
I saw it on Instagram, and he was wearing the Essentials tee.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's pretty badass, dude. The fact that it can go from like, something, making the idea come to life, and then seeing it, on one of their, hands. So how does that happen?
So that one happened. It's just keeping, just networking and connections. So I think, how did that one happen? Danny Lux actually he went to the shop, Feature Right Show one time, and he was just there. And, I think I had like a shirt hanging on the rack, and he was like, yo, that shirt is sick. He didn't know. He's like, whose is that? And it happened to be one of my shirts that I made,
That's sick.
at that time. And I was like, oh, you could just take it, And from there, it kind of just started that how do you say, relationship. Like we followed each other on Instagram. And he's like, every time I post something, he's like, yo, I need this. You think you can, send it over? And I'll, he wears the stuff. So, if they're not going to wear this stuff, I'm not going to send stuff over,
Yeah.
It's like, bro, there's no point of me sending you stuff if you're not even going to wear it. So it's like, I'd rather just, not print one for you or an extra one. But, bro, they're always wearing the stuff. And, I mean, that just happened to be his cousin, And I think they're, like, in the same band or whatever. But, yeah, how did I get a hold of him? I think he followed the brand,
okay.
And then I seen that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sick, I'm pretty sure if I have him wearing Lonestar, and he posts like a picture on it, like,
he's a big attraction. Yeah,
he's probably like close to like 200K or something, like probably even more if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just I think he swiped up like a little fire emoji on like a drop that I was doing.
Yeah,
and I was like, I wasn't even planning on like DMing him or anything. And I just hit him up. I was like, yo, I could send you a few shirts. This was like last year, probably. So I sent him a shirt. And then from then, it's like every time he wants something, I kind of just like, yeah, I got you. But he's always wearing the stuff. So it's like, sick. You keep showing love, I'm going to just.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Have you been able to get your clothing on anyone else? Like anyone else's hands?
Anyone else?
That's like, an artist or an influencer?
I mean, like you mentioned Teofimo earlier.
Yeah.
I was able to get some shirts in his hands. This was like a few months ago, so I was able to get like a hoodie and like a shirt. Friends of mine too. They're like TikTokers, influencers, YouTubers. They kind of just get their hands on it. I don't know if you know like Kev, Santi, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love they love their essential teas. I know Kevin does. He's always texting me. He's like, bro, that essential tea is crazy. Like, I need more. Or like, he's like, oh, you should do that. He's like even providing me input. He's like, yo, you should do this color, or you should do sweats, stuff like that.
That's sick.
So yeah, he's like, and when I do stuff like that, bro, I feel like he doesn't take off them shirts. So it's like, I got you. So yeah, I mean, they wear the shirts. Teofimo recently, Eddie J, like you said.
Yeah.
Danny Luck sometimes wear the shirts too. From the top of my head, that's from what I have right now.
How did that? I guess now that we're there, right?
Yeah.
How did that come about? The whole Vegas thing.
So the Vegas thing.
Because I saw y'all were up in his penthouse right before the fight.
Yeah,
Like, it was like
yeah.
a day before the fight, something like that. That was badass, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, I gotta talk to him about that.
Yeah, that was a cool experience. I'm not gonna lie. So that came about. A friend of mine, his name is Brian. He's the one that has a connection with him, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he goes by like number 9 jeans. So I think he was like, so we're all in the shop, at Feature Retro. So Teofimo needs shoes, like, I need this. So he's always hitting him up. Yo, can you give me this? Can you give me this? And so it was like, yeah, but I think we decided that we were gonna hand deliver them personally, that he was.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, y'all wanna come along? And me, Joseph, I think it was just us 3. It was Brian and me and Joseph were like, yeah, let's go. And while we're at it, we'll take him some stuff, And so that's how I kind of just started off. So we went to Vegas. He had his fight. We had to pull up on Tuesday because I think he was going to be busy Wednesday, Thursday, because his fight was on Friday.
Gotcha.
Or his fight was on Thursday, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, his fight was on Thursday, and we had to pull up on Tuesday because he was going to be busy the day before.
Got it.
And the day of. Yeah, so we put up on Tuesday. We got there. We were supposed to link up with him to drop off the shoes and the merch, for the Lonestar merch. But it didn't happen. I think he got busy or something. So we're like, damn, the plan is going to go down the waste, But we already had connections with him prior to that because the year before we went to this fight in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was the second time we meet him. It's just this last time is like I documented it,
That's sick.
Like I got it on like my phone camera, or these Ray-Ban, the little smart Ray-Ban.
Okay.
Yeah. So the last one I didn't really document. I probably just took a picture of him. I think I had dropped like a camping shirt and he just took a picture of it. But yeah, this last one I was able to like document it, post about it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of how it went about. We got that connection, dropped off the shoes, and I was like, we kind of tagged along. And, I was like, let me take him some shirts. And, he loved them. He was there with his dad and stuff like that, his whole team. It was kind of crazy. He took us up to his, like, a little, where he was staying. It was like a hotel in Vegas. I forgot what the hotel was called. But bro had his own, like, suite. Like, it was crazy. Double door hotel. You walk in, and it's not even the room. It's like a whole lobby inside a hotel room. Room to your left, room to your right. And the view is like the
strip, right?
It's not the view is that stadium where the Super Bowl was played. I forgot what the stadium is called.
What is it called?
The football stadium that they have in Vegas. Yeah, damn, it's new too.
Yeah, it is. The Raiders. It's their
stadium in Vegas right there. So that was the view. That was the view.
That's sick.
Super Bowl was like in 2 days. So it was like, they had the 49ers and the Chiefs helmet. Like they have like a big old LED screen around the stadium. So it was kind of, bro, the view was crazy. So we got there and it's like, at the time, it's like, you're kind of just in awe. You're like, damn, like, bro's living like this?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy, like, it's kind of cool. But yeah, we kind of just kicked it with him right there in his little suite hotel. Kicked it for like about like a cool 15, 20 minutes, and, he showed love. He gave us some of his merch and stuff like that. I gave him the Lonestar merch, took a few pictures together. We're filming for YouTube. He's filming for YouTube. So it's just,
It's going back and forth.
Yeah, it's going back and forth. So that was kind of cool. Then the next day, we were able to see him fight, So that was kind of sick. I think he gave us like front row tickets too. So we're like, yeah, you look behind you and you see other celebrities and you're like, what?
That's badass.
Yeah, you're like, god damn, like this is sick.
How's the atmosphere at the fight?
Bro, it was crazy. Yeah, it was pretty cool. We got there and it was packed, full. I mean, Vegas was full at the time because the Super Bowl was like in 2 days, you know? So it was like, that's why it was kind of weird. The fight was on a Thursday, but it was because Super Bowl weekend is like in Vegas. They do all these events. Yeah, so I mean, the fight was packed. Bro, it was a really cool atmosphere. Popcorn was good. Water was good. Yeah.
That's badass, man. That's a great experience. And I see you do travel a lot. What's your favorite place that you've been to?
Bro, New York. Bro,
You
I
love
love
New
New
York?
York. Yeah, I love New York. New York and Denver, my top two. But if I have to choose one, if I want to like focus more on the shopping and like kind of get inspired, I would do New York.
Okay.
More relaxed and like just kind of just do fun things. Denver, you know, you got the snowboarding, you got the snowmobile, stuff like that.
So you done all that in
Colorado, in
Colorado.
Denver. I've probably gone twice.
Okay.
Twice, yeah, and both times I've gone, it's like I've had a blast. Yeah.
You've
It's
been
lot of
traveling
things
a
to do.
lot, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. It's just I like it just because it's like you go, you kind of take a little mental break.
For sure.
You come back and it's like on the last days that it always happens. Every time I'm on the last day, like I'm in a different city. On the last day, I'm like, oh, I want to go back. I feel like I got a lot of things to do back home. You know, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure that out. I gotta design this. I gotta design that. So when I get home, it's like I just feel motivated. It
Yeah,
always happens, bro.
for sure.
I get back home to Houston and I just feel like full 100% like locked in. You know, it's like, yo, let me cook this up.
It's important to take those breaks.
Yeah.
Because you know they say like work 24/7, blah blah. Like you got to put in the work. Yeah, you got to put in the work, but you also got to take those mental breaks.
Yeah.
Because it refuels you. And like the
definitely.
way that I used to operate before was, it was just work like nonstop. You know, try to do as much as I could, and then you get burnt out a little bit, and you're like, damn, bro, like I gotta chill a little bit.
Yeah.
And so those trips for sure,
They help.
they do. Yeah. What's a place that you're trying to go to that you've never been?
Damn. Probably like Italy.
Italy.
Yeah, Italy. I've been to Spain before.
Yeah.
Bro, I loved it. It was different. Yeah, it was. I had gone like when was this? 2019, 2018. I went to study abroad over there. So I was out there for 2 weeks.
Sick.
Yeah. I was out there for 2 weeks. Bro, it was like I loved it. It was like I didn't want to come back. But yeah, so it's like I would like to travel like to Europe again. Yeah, just because of the experience I had in Spain. So it's like I want to go back, you know?
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things. And Italy in itself, I mean, I've never gone, but I have a friend who's going out there for a wedding.
Yeah.
But like they all say it's a completely different experience. Like,
Yeah.
the people are different too. I think that's the best part about going out of the country. You get to see like the different like human nature.
Yeah.
The way people act. When I went to London, it was weird because
When was this?
It was like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, I think. When I went, you get a whole different vibe from people. It's like way different.
Yeah.
When you're in Houston, I'm not gonna say people are stuck up here, but you know how it goes.
Yeah,
Like, people
yeah.
are about status here and this and that. Over there, anyone walking in the street, you could be friends with.
Yeah.
Like no one was gonna shut you down.
You don't have no idea who they are. And
Yeah,
it's like,
and it's just like they're inviting you to this, they're inviting you to that, and it was just like a whole different vibe. So getting out of the country for sure is like it's a unique experience.
Yeah.
I'm definitely trying to get out soon as well.
you traveled lately or not?
No, I haven't,
You
but I'm
haven't?
trying to plan something out right
Okay.
now. I'm trying to get out of the country. We'll
Yeah,
see
that's the move right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Leaving the country. Because, I mean, New York, Denver, Miami, LA, like all these spots, like, they're cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, traveling outside the country is like
It's
crazy.
a whole
And
different
I'm not
vibe.
even talking about like you go to like Mexico or like, I've never been to Mexico, but I would love to go. But, you know, every time I go to like wherever my parents are from, which is El Salvador, like it's cool and all, it's different. But it's like, bro, you go overseas, it's like, it's a whole different ball game. It's crazy.
You like it out there?
In El Salvador, yeah, I like it. It's different from here. It's like you kind of get humbled, you know?
Because you go back to your roots.
Yeah, I guess my parents' roots. Yeah, I actually just went for the first time like 2 years ago. But yeah, so when I go out there, I stay with my grandma, like my grandma's place, both of my grandma's places. So we go like half a week to my dad's mom and then the other half at my mom's mom.
Okay.
But yeah, you kind of get humbled. You see families out there that are like, they're happy with what they got, you know. And you're here in Houston, and it's like, bro, I have this, like I have a roof under my head, you know. I'm never missing food, and you know, little things like that. Even like, bro, you see kids with like no shoes and they're like happy playing, and it's like, damn, like, it kind of just hits you, you know. But bro, I love it. Other than that, it's like, you know, I think the beaches out there are beautiful. The food, the pupusas are good, bro.
Can't forget about those.
The weather, like, it's never like too hot. It's always like, if it's hot, it's like a little hot, but with a breeze, you know. And then it's never cold out there either. Like, they don't have a winter.
Going off the like the humble roots or whatnot, was that like how your parents raised you?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, like, I was never like spoiled or anything, you know. Like I said, I've always worked for my own stuff. Like, at a young age, you know, I was already cutting yards, trying to make my own money, trying to buy my own stuff. And I feel like that's kind of how I was raised, kind of just as in like, whatever you want, kind of just work for it, you know. And bro, even when my parents would buy me stuff, like, something inside of me would be like, bro, I don't want them buying me stuff, you know. I want to buy my own stuff. So I mean, I was never raised in like in a household where it was like, yo, I have this, I have that. Like, it comes easy to me, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I kind of just had to work for what I had. So that was kind of how I was raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest like lesson your parents have taught you?
Just to work, bro. Yeah. To kind of just, if you want something, go ahead and get it. My parents were heavy into go to school and graduate, you know?
Yeah.
I was, you know, I obviously did graduate. I graduated with a bachelor's at U of H in marketing. But, like, that's something they kind of planted in my head. But I at the same time, I was kind of, like, on board with it. Like, I want that, you know? Like, that was always a goal I had. It was, like, because I think what motivated me was I had promised myself. I had said, yo, the moment I'm about to get my bachelor's degree, I'm going to get myself a new car. And that's how, you know, bro, that was, like, the one thing that I was, like, I need to graduate.
You were looking forward to
it?
Bro,
I was looking forward for a new car. And I remember my last semester, I got my car. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, I'm already basically here, you know. So, yeah, I graduated, got my car. But, yeah, I mean, my parents kind of did. They were heavy on, like, education and stuff like that, getting that degree. And yeah, I mean, it worked out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, even though I'm not using the degree right now, you know, it's always good to have.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just see it as, like, you went to school in Dallas, though, right?
Yeah, I went to school in Dallas. So I was out there for, like, about a year and a half or two. Yeah, and then COVID happened, came back home, and, you know, it kind of just shifted everything. So I'm already back home. I was like, I might as well just transfer to U of H, and, you know.
And it worked out like that?
And it worked out like that. I was like, I'm going to just... And I would hear a lot of good things about their business program.
Yeah, it's a strong program.
Yeah,
really
I would hear a lot of good things about it. So I was like, I think when I graduated high school, I didn't have the grades for it. So I never even bothered looking into these schools, you know? Like A&M, U of H, bro. Like, bro, in high school, I didn't have those grades at all, bro. But, you know, when I was in Dallas, everything was easier, you know? Like, you had, like, people helping you out. Like, I was playing soccer over there in Dallas. And it's kind of just easier because, like, they understand, like, I guess, like you're an athlete. So it's kind of, they're, like, lenient with you.
Yeah, they want to make sure you're good.
Yeah, they want to make sure you're good. So it's, like, they help you out and stuff like that.
Well, they make you do, like, study hall and all that?
Bro, study hall every day,
They had us in there, too, yeah.
Yeah, study hall. I hated it. But at the same time, it's, like, you have to clock in those study hall hours, you know? So it's, like, so I was out there. And then COVID happened, came back home. You know, I was already in Houston, transferred. With the grades that I had in Dallas, I was able to make it to their business.
Did you go in person, like at U of H, or you did it mostly online?
My first 2 semesters I did online. Okay. Because, you know, I think that's all they had.
They didn't have any in person.
And I think like my last semester or 2, I did a few in person. So it was like a little hybrid, half and half.
Yeah, U of H is a huge school, dude. Like, I never really got involved, which, I mean, I'm not gonna say I regret it or I don't regret it, but it was just what it was. Because at that time I was already working, like I already had stuff going, and I couldn't afford to be in school the whole day, you know. So I was kind of in and out. Like, I think I had 1 or 2 classes that were in person, and then the rest were online. But the classes were pretty difficult. Like the business courses that I took, accounting for me was one of the toughest ones.
Bro,
like, accounting was tough, dude, because.
Crazy.
I don't know. It's just more of a challenge, right? At that point, I was ready to graduate. Like, you know, you're in your last year. You want to get out of there, and the senioritis hits a little bit where you're just like, damn, bro, I'm just trying to get out of here, right? Get my degree. But That's cool, man. That you were able to have that experience there as well.
Yeah.
What was the major in? You said marketing, right?
Yeah,
Marketing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really involved either. Like, I probably joined one organization, like in the semester that I was there. But
you already had a lot of stuff going on.
bro,
at
I
the time.
had tons of stuff going on. I was already back home. So I was after COVID. COVID happened. They opened up the restaurants again. So I kind of just went back working where I was at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then, so I was working at the restaurant. I was full-time student. And then I was trying to run my brand. So I was like, it was a lot of stuff going on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one of the toughest things that you've learned and that you could, I guess, preach to the people about running your own thing that people don't see on the outside?
Bro, just consistency, honestly. I feel like that's like the biggest thing. Just staying consistent. I mean, it's good to take a break here and there, but I always like take that break knowing that like once you feel like relaxed, you feel good, just to come back and just grind again, I feel like that's the biggest thing for me, consistency. Like, I always have things like thinking about the next drop. Like right now I'm thinking about what I'm gonna drop in the winter, like summer it probably just started, and I'm here trying to focus on like making my own hoodie blank. Yeah, I got a lot of things that I'm working right now that are probably not gonna drop in like a month or two from now.
What's one of your most, obviously I don't want to know like all details, and you probably don't want to say it either, but what's one of the most exciting things that you foresee yourself doing?
Bro, so I'm working on a footwear. Yeah, we're working on that right now, actually. I finished it's going to be, I don't want to say what type of footwear is it, but, bro, it's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. Right now, I finished the shoe, or the mule, or it's a mule.
Is this your first? It's your first?
Yeah, I've never done anything like footwear related. It's always been clothing, hoodies.
So how's the designing coming along?
It's finished. Yeah.
Oh, it's finished. Done already?
Yeah, I got it done. At 3 in the morning.
No,
so it's like, there's nothing going on. So I feel like that's the best time to like lock in and concentrate in design, or even brainstorm.
At night.
Yeah, at night.
Yeah,
all the time.
I could agree for sure too, because I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person, like, when I sit down and I start to generate these ideas, like, it's like I don't stop. Like, I cannot get off my chair. Like, I have to keep it going, because I'm like, I'm gonna lose that good thought. I'm gonna lose that good idea, and I gotta make sure it comes to life. But I mean, apart from Lonestar, what other visions do you have for yourself, like in the near future, down the line?
Yeah. Apart from Lonestar, I mean, right now I'm focusing 100% on that.
Like, you're giving it your all.
Yeah, I want to go crazy with it. Hopefully it takes off. Because right now I feel like it's getting traction. It's getting traction. I'm getting there, but I don't want to feel where it's like this is what I want. Like how it is right now. Like, nah, like I do want it to get bigger. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure everyone wants their stuff to get bigger, definitely. Whatever they're working on. But yeah, I'm concentrating on that right now. But in the long run, like 5-10 years from now, I do want to like get into like real estate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's always been something in my mind. Kind of just get into that, like buying property, buying houses, remodeling, putting it to rent. So actually, my dad just started doing that.
He remodels?
Yeah, no. So he just bought a house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he just bought a house, fixed it up, and now it's like people are living in there for rent. And
so he did it as a business investment, basically.
Yeah, business investment. Gotcha. So it's like, bro, that's like that kind of, like, you see that, and it's like, bro, my dad's doing that, like I could do that. It's like motivation,
Definitely.
It's like you got people in your own family doing stuff like that. Damn, it sounds like competition, but it's not. It's not. It's mostly inspiration.
Yeah,
it's inspiration. Like it's never too late, Like, you might think like, damn, I'm already like 20, 21. It's like I'm about to be 30 or whatever. Like, I'm late. But it's like, bro, you're never late, It's everyone has different time.
Yeah, that's true.
Timing.
I like to say that all the time. There's always a time for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, their time's gonna come, and you can restart at any time. You can start something new at any time. But I think where people get afraid is just the fact of like failing at what they want to do.
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh, I'm too old for that now, or oh, it already passed. My time passed already. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you can really do anything and everything you want at any point, right? Because like for me, when I was like 18, 19, at that time, like my vision was to start up like my own soccer club and this and that. And it came to life at a certain point where I did get my hands on that. And then, your ideas start to shift, like your visions start to shift. And then for me now, it is real estate. Like, it really is, because I like to say it's one of the most powerful things you can have, bro. Like, you have your own land, you can charge whatever you want, you can end up flipping it, you can hold it for like a long time. And for me, it's more long term investments. Like, my goal is to buy a property every year until I'm 30. Like, buy one every single year until I'm 30.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, be able to pay them all off, and then just, you know, collect 100% of the income that comes after that, because you are working to pay them off. You know, when you have people paying the rent, almost nobody's gonna buy 5 or 6 properties cash. Like, that's not gonna happen. But I'm more long term. Like, people don't see it, but dude, everyone and everything's always gonna go up in price. Like, the gas prices. You know, you go back 5 years ago. Bro, you look at the gas prices, and it always goes up. Same thing with property. You buy property now, you go 10 years down the line, and it's gonna be, you know, doubled of what it was. And so I think people don't have that patience to wait, you know, for that time to come. But I think once I figured out the game, that it's just a matter of being patient, right? Being patient, letting it sit, letting it grow, because you could throw your money in something else. And I would rather be throwing it into properties.
It's something you can invest in.
Letting it go up in price. But no, that's interesting, man. I do find it like super interesting, the fact that your brand has come to life. And just seeing it, everything that you put out, it's unique. Like, I think the double hooded sweater that you had, like double zipper.
Yeah, double zip up.
Like that was unique as well, and like, it caught my eye. I was like, dude, this is sick.
You know? That was like last year, I think.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was like last year. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, that one was like, I was like, damn, this is badass.
Yeah. I really want to get into like manufacturing and like into like basically designing pieces that are like everything's from scratch, you know? It's like, because I mean, you can always get a blank and just put a design on it, you know? But like bringing a hoodie, like with your own measurements, like it could have a zipper here, it could have like two hoodies, or it can have like, it changes colors, like something that you can just buy, you know?
Like, you have to manufacture it.
I want to get into that heavy. Yeah, so like I said, right now, my own shoe, I definitely want to do like my own blank. You know?
You work with the same manufacturer, like?
Nah, it's different.
Or you go to different people?
Yeah. If let's say like if you have a manufacturer for like, let's say shoes, then you stay with that one, you know. But then you want to have a manufacturer for a hoodie, then it has to be someone else, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I have different manufacturers.
Okay. Yeah. How's that relationship? Did you keep a good relationship with them? Like, you switch up often, or you've been sticking to the same people?
So I use this manufacturer. Like, bro, this morning he texted me just to see how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or how the brand is going. Yeah. I think he stays in like New York or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got to keep that relationship with them, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I do want to like let's say when I think he stays, like I say, he stays in New York. Probably go to New York and you just like hang out. You know, just keep that relationship. But the ones from overseas, those are kind of hard to keep that relationship with, because they do stuff for everyone, you know. But it's always good to like to just like, how do you say, every now and then just be like, yo, how's it going? Yeah, this and that, just so they can like, you can kind of be in their radar.
And how is it working with the people from overseas?
It's cool. It's just the only hard part about it is like whenever you're up, they're sleeping. Whenever you're sleeping, they're up.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm always up like 4 a.m. So it's like 11 p.m. hits is like their morning.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we're always messaging. Yeah, we're always messaging. I'm always up late, so I never see like a difference.
Yeah. That's sick, man. And I guess, you know, to push things, you know, a little bit towards the end, what's something that you can give out as a piece of advice, like for, you know, younger people that look up to you, people that, you know, would watch this podcast and be like, damn, that's inspirational, right? What's a piece of advice you can give?
Just like do whatever you have in your heart, you know. I feel like sometimes people are scared to do that one thing, like that one business idea, for example. It's like they're scared to do it because they're like, oh, people are going to look at me funny, you know, or what if it fails? So I feel like, you know, just lock it in on whatever idea you have in your mind, just go ahead and do it. I don't feel like there's failure. It's more as in like you can learn from it, you know?
For sure.
Like, you never know if it can take off if you've never even tried, you know? So I really recommend, like, if you're out there with like a business idea or just have anything in mind, just to like lock in and do it. And you gotta like do it like now, not just be like, oh, I'll do it like because then that like next week, because then that week turns into 2 weeks, then a month,
Just
then a year.
procrastinating.
Yeah, so it's like, bro, whatever you do, just lock in, like put all your chips in, and just go crazy with it. Again, if it doesn't work out, cool. You learn something from it. You're probably gonna get into something else.
Yep.
But if it works out, cool. It worked out.
Yep.
But you're never gonna know if it worked out or not if you never even
Exactly.
bothered trying. So I feel like that's like super huge for me.
Sure.
Yeah, every time I think about something, even a drop, I've had drops that like they flop, and I'm like, I wouldn't know that drop would have flopped if I never dropped it.
That's true.
And if I never dropped it, I would just be in my head. I would be like, oh,
it could have been. It could have took off.
It could have took off. But I'm like, now I know. Oh, people don't like that. I'm not gonna do it again. So yeah, it's just always just lock in and just whatever you have in your head, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. No, that's words of advice that I think everyone could take.
Yeah,
right? Just making sure you don't procrastinate, because that's the most important thing. If you say you're gonna do it next week, and then the next week, and then the next week, you never do it.
Yeah.
So no, that's huge, man. And we appreciate you for jumping on the pod.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a pleasure getting to hear your story, getting to hear what you do, how you do it, how it started. So we appreciate you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and much love and best of success with your brand.
Appreciate it,
Hopefully,
bro. You too.
It keeps taking off. So it's all love.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Nice.